Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, today's story time is insane. It's recent. This takes place literally a few hours ago. Yeah, this is recent. This is the most recent story, one of the most recent stories I've probably ever told on this channel. I don't usually make videos right after they happen. I usually let them marinate for a little bit, and I sit on them and I wait and I, keep them hidden until the time is right. But I don't really want to do that anymore because, I don't know. I just think it's better to tell it day of. And this one's just so wild that I feel like I can't wait. I have to tell it now. I'm too excited. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So, today's story time all takes place just a few hours ago. Now, I woke up this morning at about, not morning. I woke up this afternoon at about 12:30. So I got up at, a somewhat reasonable hour. Some people might argue that that's really late, and it is. But for me personally, that's not very late. You guys know me. Sometimes I get up at 5 p.m. So 12:30 is pretty early for Mr. Luna. And I got up out of bed, and I went out in the living room, and I hung out on my computer for a little bit, got some work done. And then after I got some work done, I felt pretty disgusting because I had not showered yet. So I jumped in the shower for a little bit. And then after that, I went out in my living room again and I opened up one of my windows and I quickly realized it was a beautiful day. So summer's around the corner, so it's getting really warm where I live. And as soon as I opened that window, I felt the warm breeze hit me and I smelled the flowers and I was like, yo, it is so nice out today. I have to go out and do something. So immediately I jumped on my phone and I messaged one of my friends, one of my best friends, Jason. I hit him up and I was like, yo, it is so nice out today. And he hit me back and he's like, yo, I was about to tell you the same thing. We got to do some shit today. And I was like, bet, bro. I'm free all day. I'm good all day to do whatever. He's like, bet, I'll be there in an hour or two. I'm like, all right, man, sounds good. So an hour and a half goes by and before I know it, he's in front of my house. He pulled up. And I went out there, got in the car with him. We start driving around trying to find something to do. And we both realized pretty quickly that we're both pretty hungry and we hadn't eaten yet pretty much all day. So I was like, yo, I know about this pizza place. Let's go to this pizza place. Let's eat outside. They got outdoor seating and let's just chill there. So that's what we did. We went down the street to this pizza place, sat outside, got some slices. It was nice. It was a good start to the day. I was loving it, right? And the area that we were at, this pizza place, was right in the middle of the city. So on every street corner and every sidewalk, they had these e-scooters and e-bikes all over the place. I'm sure if any of you guys live near a major city, you've probably seen them before. You can download a little app on your phone and rent these things. And they're pretty fun to whip around with your friends, especially on a nice day. And I looked at him and I was like, yo, you thinking what I'm thinking? And he's like, yo, I've never rode one of those before. I'm kind of scared. And I was like, bro, it's just a bike, but it goes faster. It's just an electric bike. He's like, yeah, man, no, the bikes I'm not worried about. I can ride a bike. And, if it goes a little faster, that's okay. I'm more worried about the scooters. Because in my city, we had the e-scooters and the e-bikes. And the scooters are the ones you stand on. And I was like, you've never rode a scooter before? He's like, nah, man, never. I'm like, all right, you're going to learn today. So after we got done eating pizza, we jumped on these e-scooters because those were the ones that were near us. And I taught him how to ride it. He was a natural. He got it down in 5 minutes. And then we rode around for about 10, 15 minutes and we came across some e-bikes and we decided to switch from the scooters to the bikes because you can sit down and chill on those. They feel a lot more safe in my opinion too. The scooter versions of those things, sometimes you hit a bump and you feel like you're going to fly over the handlebars or some shit. So yeah, we went and we switched to these bikes and now we're riding around on these e-bikes going 20 miles an hour down the streets, just whipping through the streets, having fun, going fast. I'm taking them down all the really cool pathways and shit. And I'm taking them through all the really cool spots that I know. And then I made a wrong turn. And before I knew it, we got lost pretty quick. And it was a not so good area to get lost in. And I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll find my way out. I've done this before. Not going to be a problem, right? Well, 10 minutes of aimlessly riding around, I cannot find my way out of these streets. And neither can he. And we're just riding around together, taking all the wrong turns, taking all the wrong directions. Every direction that we would go would be the wrong direction. And we would end up further lost and deeper into some neighborhood that we'd never been in. And yeah, the area that we were in was not so nice. Definitely a very rundown, sketchy area. But no one was really outside or anything. It didn't seem like we were in danger or anything like that. And finally, after aimlessly roaming around, we come across this bike trail that rides along the river of my city. And I'm like, oh, cool. We just take this and it'll take us right out of this area into somewhere more familiar. It's like an expressway, but for bikes, right? I thought nothing could go wrong. So we jumped on this trail and we started riding it along the water. It was actually really beautiful. There was a nice view of the water, like the river and trees and nature. And it's a nice clear pathway. Nobody was on it. It was literally like riding on a high-speed expressway, but for bikes. It was sick. And we're going like full speed. And before I knew it, we were back in a pretty nice area, a more familiar area, an area that I knew. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, we did it, right? And then all of a sudden, while we're on this pathway, I see this man in the distance while we're riding. And this man is just standing in the distance, just standing on this bike path, just standing there, staring at us as we approach him. And he's not moving. He's not stepping to the right, not stepping to the left, not getting out of the way. And he's just like leaving very little room on each side of him for us to get around him. And we keep getting closer and closer and closer. And then out of nowhere, he starts barking at us. And I don't mean like, you know, just like yelling or like, you know, screaming at us, like actually barking like a dog. He sounded just like a dog. I would try and like imitate it, but like I genuinely can't bark like a dog as good as this guy was. And as we got closer and closer, I realized it was a homeless man. He was probably hanging out by the water because it was cooler over there, just chilling out where the shade was. Not really sure why he decided to like step out in the middle of this trail and like, you know, be in the way and bark at us. But, you know, it's not the craziest thing I've seen. I've definitely seen some homeless people do some pretty wild things, and this didn't really scare me. And after my friend and me got really close to him, we just slowed down and we started riding around him. And my friend rode around him first. And then I followed behind my friend and I rode around the same side, his right side. And this homeless guy locks eyes with me and proceeds to throw me off my e-bike. He grabs me by my shirt and just tosses me off my e-bike like a fucking baseball, bro. He just throws me off that shit into the grass and my bike crashes to the ground with me. And I get up and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, why the fuck did you do that? And he's just barking at me. And he's just continuously fucking woofing at me like a fucking canine, dude. I did not understand it. And it was really creepy. And honestly, really, like, just, it was scary. And my friend jumps off his bike. He runs over to me. He's like, yo, are you okay, man? Like, yo, why the fuck would you do that? And he's looking at the homeless guy. And the homeless guy's barking at him now. And, you know, I know someone's going to comment and be like, bro, I don't care if that guy was homeless. Like, I would have gotten up and I would have beaten the shit out of him. I didn't want to do that, man. At the end of the day, this dude's life was infinitely harder than mine was. He lived on the streets and probably had a very, very rough life. I'm not about to beat on a guy that is probably struggling with mental health issues. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that. So I didn't do it. I didn't punch him. I didn't push him. You know, some people would argue that that'd be, you know, reasonable self-defense, but I wasn't going to do that. And I just go and I pick up my bike and I jump on it. And me and my friend start riding away, right? Because I thought, okay, like he's just barking at us now. He's not doing anything else. Like no big deal, right? And as soon as I start riding away, he starts running up to me again. This time I jumped off my bike myself because I'm not about to let this dude throw me off it again and fucking hurt me. So I jump off it myself. I throw the bike down and I kind of get into like a stance, you know, like I get into like a defend myself stance, like ready to throw hands if I have to. And this homeless guy, he gets in a stance. And he looks at me and he goes silent. He stops barking, right? And we're looking at each other. We're both in like stance, like kind of, you know, wondering if we're going to fight or not. And my friend jumps off his bike and he's like, you know, waiting there, like seeing what's going to happen. And this homeless guy puts his hands down. He drops his hands and then I drop mine. And I was like, all right, man, good. Like, I don't want to fight you. Seems like you don't want to fight me. Cool, man. Like, have a good one. All right, man. Like, have a good day. And I turn around and I go picking up my bike. And as I'm picking up my bike, I hear footsteps running up behind me. And before I know it, before I can turn around and, you know, get out of there, I'm getting pushed to the ground by this homeless guy. Now I fall on the ground, and before I know it, this homeless man is on top of me. So he pushed me to the ground, and then he like jumped on top of me and was like holding me on the ground with all of his body weight. And he wasn't like punching me. He wasn't like, you know, smacking me or anything. He was just holding me down on the ground. And just starts barking as loud as he can right in my ear. Just like so loud. And it was so terrifying, man. Like I've been through some pretty scary things, but being held against your will on the ground as a person barks at you with the craziest look in their eye, and you don't know if they have weapons or if they're gonna punch you, like, it's terrifying, man. It was scary. And now it's to a point where, like, all right, I need to fucking do something about this. I can't let this guy, like, keep doing this. This is horrible. So I, like, take everything in me and I start trying to, like, push him off me, right? But he was too heavy. Like, this guy was a lot heavier than me. And luckily, my homie, Jason, he's a pretty buff dude. He lifts a lot at the gym. He's a strong guy. And Jason grabs this guy by his fucking back, his shirt, and just rips him off me. And he's like, get the fuck off him. And this homeless guy turns his attention to Jason now. And he starts barking at Jason. And Jason proceeds to say some pretty funny shit. He goes, I'm not a fucking dog. I don't know what you're saying. And I'm just like trying not to laugh because it's just a wild thing to say. And the homeless guy proceeds to start charging at Jason after he said this. And he's running at Jason full speed with his fists up, barking at him. And it was very clear that this homeless guy was about to swing on Jason. And Jason does the most insane thing I think I've ever seen anybody do. He bends down, completely ducks the homeless guy's punches, picks the homeless guy up by the waist, and throws him over his shoulder, like behind him, into the river. Like just flung that motherfucker into the river head first, and there was just a big splash, and the homeless man was now swimming. Now immediately, the homeless man stopped barking, and as soon as his head popped out of that water, he starts yelling all sorts of fucked up shit at us. Like immediately, he comes out the water and he's like, you motherfuckers, I was a fucking veteran, I served this fucking country, you guys are pieces of shit. He's screaming at us, right? And it's like, dude, we didn't want to do anything to him. I literally let him fucking throw me off my bike and didn't do shit, and neither did Jason. It wasn't until this guy tackled me to the ground and then ran at Jason that something was done. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't want to hurt him. We knew that he had it pretty hard and like was probably suffering from mental illness, so we didn't want to have to do anything. And honestly, we didn't really do that much. I didn't do anything to him. The only thing that was done was Jason threw him in the water. And honestly, like in the grand scheme of things, that's not that bad. He didn't get hurt. He fell in some water. It's not like it was some crazy like ocean or something with high waves or something with a crazy current. It was just a small river that he literally got out of in less than 10 seconds. He climbed right out. Obviously, he was wet and probably uncomfortable, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like Jason did what he had to do, right? And we said all of this to the homeless guy while he was getting out of the water. Like, literally, I was like, dude, we didn't want to have to do anything to you. Like, I literally let it slide when you threw me off my bike. And then Jason chimed in. He's like, bro, I just threw you in the water for my safety. Like, I didn't want to have to hurt you or anything. And this homeless guy is just still screaming all sorts of shit at us. He's like, you guys are fucking assholes. Like, fuck you guys. Like, I laid down my life for this country, and this is how you guys fucking treat me. And we're like, bro, like, we're not targeting you. We literally just want to, like, get by. And you're blocking the way. You're barking. You're attacking us. Like, come on, man. And then he gets out of the water and he stands up and he looks at me and proceeds to yell a word at me that I can't even say on YouTube because it's straight up like I'll get demonetized or a strike, but it's a slur, a very bad one. It's like one of the worst ones you can say, and he yelled it at me full volume. I remember looking around being like, yo, I hope no one's around. I hope no one heard that, because if someone hears that nearby and they get offended, they might not be as nice as us. They might like beat that dude up, and I don't want to see anyone get hurt, right? Anyway, he yells that slur at me. Then he looks at Jason and proceeds to yell that Jason was my sidekick. Yeah, he looked at Jason. He was like, fuck you, you sidekick. And then he proceeded to turn around and run away down the trail, like in the direction that we came from. And immediately me and Jason look at each other and we stare at each other blankly for like a second. And then Jason goes, yo, like, did that just happen? And I was like, yeah, I think it did. He goes, I cannot believe that. And I was like, yeah, me neither. Now, believe it or not, the story isn't over. Yeah, I know you're thinking like, oh, I'm going to start doing my outro now and the story's going to end. No, it doesn't end. So me and Jason get on our little e-bikes, right? And we proceed with our ride. And we're just kind of like, you know, riding along the trail, trying to like, you know, get back to having a nice day after that, you know, wild situation just happened. And we end up going to a convenience store. We ride our e-bikes up into the city and to this convenience store. And at this point, it's been about 25 minutes since the incident, right? And we're in the convenience store. I'm grabbing a Gatorade. Jason's grabbing one too. And all of a sudden, I hear like the chime of the door opening, like someone just walked in. And I hear none other than a man barking like a dog. And I turn around and it's fucking him, dude. It's the homeless guy. And guess what? He's in a full set of dry, new clothes. He also was wearing a backpack that he didn't have when we like saw him and got into that like little altercation. So I guess he like probably had like a backpack like stashed nearby somewhere with some clothes in it. And he went and changed and then he went to the store. And that's, you know, when we ran into him again. And he sees me. The homeless guy like makes eye contact with me and I make eye contact with him. And I thought he was about to start freaking out, but he didn't. He just walked up to like the counter after he saw me. He bought a pack of cigarettes. He talked to the clerk for a second, like the store clerk. And then he turned around and he walked outside. And I remember I looked at Jason and I was like, yo, did he not know it was us? And Jason's like, bro, I think he did, but like, maybe he just doesn't care. So then after we get our drinks, we walk out into the parking lot and that guy's out there, the homeless guy. And he's just sitting out there. And he looks at me as I'm walking out and he barks at me. Yeah, barks at me like a dog again. And I just went, yeah, man, have a good one. And me and Jason just got on our bikes and we rode out of there as fast as we could because I did not want him to try and throw me off it again or try and attack Jason or who knows, man. Like, who knows what could have happened if we hung around any longer, right? So we just got the fuck out of there as fast as we could. And luckily, he let us. He didn't chase us. He didn't try and start anything else. We were good. We got out of there and we finished our bike ride and it was really fun. The rest of it was really, really fun. And then we went back to my house, hung out here for like, I don't know, an hour or two. And then Jason left and, I told him have a good one and that hopefully next time we hang out, that doesn't happen again. And then I got some dinner and now I'm here telling the story to you guys. So, moral of this story is don't harass random people that are just trying to enjoy their day like this man did. Also, if someone starts harassing you and you don't know them and you don't know if they like could be dangerous, try and get the hell out of there as fast as you can, you know? Like this definitely could have been a lot more serious, you know? Like the dude could have had a weapon. It could have gone a completely different direction. Like I'm actually really lucky it went the way it did and so is everyone involved, you know? Jason, the homeless guy. Like all I hope for is that this homeless dude eventually gets the help he needs. Hopefully someone can help him and, deal with whatever he's dealing with. And I hope that he never runs into somebody that isn't as nice as we were. Because I think, if he runs into the wrong people and he's yelling at them or he's barking at them or he tries to attack them, they might defend themselves a lot more violently than what, Jason did, So I really hope nothing like that ever happens to him. Even though he threw me off my bike and was very, very mean to me, I don't wish any harm on him. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the story time. Very crazy one, very recent one. And I think it's pretty good. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this. If you enjoyed listening to this, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate that. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
Take his 401k and I'll put it on my wrist. Only wanna sell my fit. Still I pop these pills and fuck my life up. Yeah, I'll take